Hello, everyone. So let us start with the topic that is, I hope I'm audible to all of you. Yes, so we'll start with the topic that is parajumbles. And the major things we looked at, we'll quickly revise the things. That is parajumbles, it is closely related with reading comprehension, 30 marks are for English. Out of that, 10 to 12 will be given by RC, that is reading comprehension and parajumbles. Parajumbles consist of 5 to 6 marks, as I've mentioned over here. And the other things, briefly, I told you what parajumbles are. Then parajumbles, biggest advantage for those who are scared of grammar is that instinct and the techniques that we are that's very subjective in nature. I told you about the thumb rules. The first thing first, how to identify the first statement. We saw this. Eliminate the sentences which has a pronoun or has an adjective in it. This is the example of it. How to identify the last statement, we looked at for this also. And I told you that all the statements or find a statement that is suggestive in nature or gives a suggestion or conclusion. The three possibilities, अगर सिर्फ suggestion वाला होगा तो वो last होगा, सिर्फ conclusion होगा तो वो last होगा conclusion वाला. ऐसा अगर parajumble है जिसमें suggestive और conclusive दोनों है, then suggestive वाला second last and conclusion वाला last होगा. Then we saw about making pairs, noun pronoun, starters connectors, conjunctions. Conjunctions में हमने देखा कि tone होता है sentence का और कंजंक्शन के दो टाइप्स होते हैं, कॉन्ट्रास्ट और एडिशनल. कॉन्ट्रास्ट क्या करता है? कॉन्ट्रास्ट पॉजिटिव को नेगेटिव से जोड़ेगा, मतलब पॉजिटिव टोन को नेगेटिव टोन से या नेगेटिव को पॉजिटिव से. ऑन द अदर हैंड, एडिशनल कंजंक्शंस प्ले द रोल ऑफ जॉइनिंग positive sentences with positive and negative with negative. I showed you an example also. Let's move ahead. Okay, so how to identify the last statement? ये हुआ था हमारा. Now next, now we saw the role of conjunctions also, positive and negative. Now there is something called as structuring of sentences. Okay, now structuring of sentences. Yeah, structuring of a paragraph. I'll just give the heading of structuring. Structuring. Now, structuring also consists of, like, one of the major role or one of the major style is cause and effect. Talking about let's say that the United States of America bombed the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. And then there is statement F, which is saying the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are still suffering from the harmful radiation nuclear bombs. For example, if these are the two sentences. Sentence B says that USA bombed the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, and the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki are still suffering from the harmful radiation. Now you can see that statement B is the cause, and statement F is the effect, isn't it? Statement B is the cause and statement F is the effect. So whenever you see a cause and effect relationship, or whenever you see some statements like this, every time, mark my words, every time cause wala statement jo rahega, cause will always precede effect. Cause will always precede effect. ये याद रखना, cause वाला statement हमेशा effect से पहले आएगा. जैसे हमने ये पिछले वाले एग्जांपल में देखा कि पहले तो बॉम्बिंग किया, यूएसए ने पहले बॉम्बिंग किया हिरोशिमा और नागासाकी पे, दैट इज द कॉज, और उसकी वजह से आज भी सफरिंग वहां पर हो रहा है ऑफ द हार्मफुल रेडिएशन. तो इफेक्ट और कॉज में क्या होता है कि पहले कॉज आता है फिर इफेक्ट आता है. ठीक है. अनदर वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट दिस इज रिजल्ट एंड रीजनिंग, जिसे कहा जाता है रिजल्ट एंड रीजनिंग. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, let's say there is a statement A which is saying Rahul studied regularly for 1 year. Okay. Now this is not cause and effect, this is more like a subtype of cause and effect. We can say that this is result and reasoning, or reasoning and result. So Rahul studied regularly for 1 year, and there is statement B which is saying hence he cleared the exam. Now these are two statements. Rahul studied regularly for 1 year, hence he cleared the exam. Now clearing the exam is what? It is the result, isn't it? Clear करना exam वो result हो गया. अब क्यों clear किया exam? Because he studied regularly. This is your reason. So this type of sentences will fall under the heading of reason and result. Reason and result. Okay. So Rahul studied regularly for 1 year, hence he cleared the exam. Now this is reason and result. इसका ही और एक टाइप होता है, that is result and reason. ठीक है ना? Result and reason. Result and reason. अब इस टाइप में क्या होगा? They will first tell you the result. Like let's say what was the example that we took, Rahul. Let's take some other example. Let's take Mohan. Mohan cleared the toughest exam in the country. Mohan cleared the toughest exam conducted in the country. Okay. And statement B is saying that because he studied consistently for a period of more than 12 months. Now, if you look closely at the two statements, you can see that statement 1 or statement A says about clearing the toughest exam. Now, let's take any exam. You can take any exam. You can take your own exam also. So, Mohan cleared the toughest exam. Now, what is this? This shows that he has cleared that exam. He has cleared that exam. That means it is showing us the result. And in statement B, they tell us why he cleared the exam. Now, why did Mohan clear the exam? Because he studied consistently. So studying consistently will shows us the reason. Okay. I hope you are getting my point. I hope you are getting my point. Okay. So I just quickly revise or quickly I'll tell the differences. Reason and result will always have the reason first, like studying regularly. In the statement, you can see Rahul studied regularly. Hence, he cleared the exam. And in this, we have result and reason. We have the result first. Mohan cleared the toughest exam because he studied regularly. Now, the two defining or differentiating words are result and reason will have because in it. And reason and result will have hence. So, reason and result will have hence in it. It will have therefore. Now, you can substitute hence with therefore also. Rahul studied regularly for 1 year. Therefore, in place of hence, you can also use therefore. You can replace hence with therefore. Rahul studied regularly for 1 year. Therefore, he cleared the exam. Okay. So keep this in mind that reason and result will be having two important words, that is hence and therefore. Whereas in result and reason, you can see that we have because. We have because in it. Or we have since also. Mohan cleared the toughest exam conducted in the country since he studied consistently. So because can be replaced with since also. So result and reason, we have two important words, that is because and since. Okay, whereas reason and result have two important words, hence and therefore. Okay, I'll make a separate slide of this if you want, so that will be easier for you to understand. Okay. Result and reason. Result and reason will have two important words, that is, those are because and since. Reason and result have two important words, and those are hence, therefore. Okay. Okay. So whenever you see a sentence which has a because in it, so that shows that this is a resultative result and reason type of sentence here. So find for the result over. Because will give you the reason. Now you just have to find another statement which is giving you some result. Whereas on the other hand, reason and result. Whenever you see some sentences with hence or therefore, find out for the reason. Okay. Understood? I hope it is clear with you. So we'll move ahead. Now, let's see what we have covered. Reason and result, structure, cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect also I have told you. Cause and effect is a structure and has two subtypes, result and reason, and reason and result. Okay, so cause will always give you the effect. Or if you find some sentence which is showing you some effect or which is giving you some result, always find for the reason wala statement. Okay, is that clear? Let's move ahead. Result and reason, reason and result. Okay, fine. Now, another way of finding out is what we call as generic to specific. It's called as generic to specific. What is generic to specific? Now there are two ways of generic to specific. One type is, I'll show you the first type. First type is like, let's say that there is statement A, which is talking about the central banks. This is talking about the central banks of the world. Then we have statement B, which is talking about the central banks of Asia. And statement C is talking about the central bank of India. Central Bank of India. So we have three statements right in front of us right now. First one is talking about all the central banks of the world. Statement B is talking about all the central banks that are in Asia. All the central banks that are in Asia. And the last one is talking about the Central Bank of India. Now, the Central Bank of India means RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Okay. Now, tell me, just look at these sentences for a couple of seconds or a few moments, and tell me which one do you think is a more generic statement. Okay, now let's see. Now, statement A is talking about central banks of the world. It is talking about all the central banks of the world. B is talking about all the central banks of Asia. And the last statement, C statement, is talking about Central Bank of India, that is RBI. So A is more generic, isn't it? A is more generic. A is more generic than B. It is more general than B. And statement C is specific. Why specific? Because it is talking about RBI, Central Bank of India. So out of the given three statements, A is more generic than B, and C statement is directly specific because it is naming some bank. So please remember that generic statements will always come first and then the specific statements. So in this case, A will come first, then B, and then C. Okay, is that clear? I hope you have understood it. So A statement will come before B and B will come before C just because of the generic to specific nature. Okay, so this is one way of generic to specific. The other way, other type is where you will be given a generic statement and then that generic statement will be followed by an example. So another way is, another way of this type is, just hold on. Another way of generic to specific is that you will be given a statement which is generic in nature, and that specificity, like let's say point one will be that you will be given a general statement. You'll be given a general statement, and then this general statement will be backed by this general statement, let's say general statement GS. This general statement will be backed or supported by backed or supported by examples. Okay, now, so general statement will be given to you, and this general statement will be backed or supported by examples. Clear? So this is another way. I'll tell you with an example. Now let's say that there is a general statement. A statement is general statement. Let's say that economic justice demands equity over equality. Economic justice demands equity over equality to have a robust economy. Let's say this is an example that economic justice demands equity over equality to have a robust economy. Statement B says that, statement B says that equity can be achieved by giving, not by giving, let's say by implementing. Equity can be achieved by implementing welfare schemes, for the vulnerable sections. For the vulnerable sections of the country. Now see. Now, statement A is generic because it is only saying about economic justice and what that economic justice demands. Is that clear? Statement A क्या कह रहा है? It is saying about economic justice और economic justice क्या demand कर रहा है. ठीक है ना? तो economic justice is a very broad term. It is demanding equity over equality. It is demanding n number of things. ठीक है ना? So economic justice is a broader term, so it is a generic statement. Okay, and in the statement A, what did it say? Equity over equality. So equity has been mentioned in statement A. And then it is backed in the statement B. It is supported in statement B that equity can be achieved. अब कैसे achieve करोगे? By implementing or by starting welfare schemes for the vulnerable sections of the country. अगर आप vulnerable sections के लिए welfare schemes लाओगे, तो we can achieve equity also. So statement A क्या हो गया? It is generic in nature. So statement A क्या हो गया? Statement A is generic in nature. Generic है, generic in nature, or it is general in nature. Whereas statement B क्या है? It is supporting. It is supporting the general statement, or it is supporting the generic statement. Is that clear? So this is also an example of generic to specific. Is that clear? I hope you guys have understood this. I hope you have understood this. Okay. So I'll again tell you the two different ways. First one is pretty simple. It is talking about, first type of generic to specific is that it is talking about the world, central banks of the world. Then it is talking about Asia. And then it is talking about RBI. So A, B, C. This is pretty simple. Okay. The next type is general statement has been presented to you. General statement has been presented to you, and this general statement is backed or supported by examples, which we have seen in this statement. Economic justice demands equity over equality to have a robust economy. This is a generic statement. And equity can be achieved is an example. अब example कैसे दिया कि welfare scheme start कर लो. Is that clear? I hope it is clear with all of you. let's move ahead. Generic to specific is done. Now another way is of full forms and short forms. Another way of identifying. I forgot to tell you this, that in both the case, in the last case over here, generic statement will always come before specific statements. In both the types, even in this type, world, Asia, India, and in this type, in both the cases, always remember that generic statements will always come before specific statements. Or you can also say that specific statements will always follow generic statements. ठीक है ना? You can also say that specific statements always follow generic statements. जैसे हमने देखा कि noun के बाद ही pronoun आता है ना? We saw this in our the first type that we saw. कि noun is always followed by pronoun. Your pronoun always follows noun. In the same way, generic statement के बाद ही आपका स्पेसिफिक स्टेटमेंट आएगा. ये दो चीजें याद रखना. नाउन प्रोनाउन जैसे याद रखा है आपने, वैसे ही जेनेरिक और स्पेसिफिक वाला याद रखना. ठीक है जी? आई होप एवरीबॉडी इज क्लियर विद दिस. Now let's move ahead. The next way of making pairs, or next way of identifying or joining or linking two sentences is full form and short form. Full form and short form. Always remember, like you have remembered noun, pronoun and generic specific. यहाँ पर आपने याद क्या रखना है कि full forms will come first. Full forms will come first and short forms will follow the full form wala statement. I'll show you with an example. Let's say statement A is saying the RBI increased the repo rate. Okay? And again something ahead. Statement B is saying the government of India and something. Statement C is saying the Reserve Bank of India, something else in this. And statement D is saying the government of India. Now look at these four statements and tell me which of them have full forms and which of them have short forms. Okay. So statement A, RBI. Now RBI is what? RBI is a short form. So let's say this is a short form, SF. Okay. Government of India, this is a full form. Reserve Bank of India, this is also a full form. GOI, now this is a short form. So we have seen that statement A and statement D have short forms in it. And statement B and C have full forms in it. A pair कैसे बनेगा? A और C का. A और C का pair बनेगा जिसमें C पहले आएगा because C has full form in it. और ए उसको फॉलो करेगा। सो सी ए का एक पेयर बन जाएगा और दूसरा पेयर आपका बन जाएगा बी और डी का, क्योंकि बी में फुल फॉर्म है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और उसका शॉर्ट फॉर्म है यहाँ पर GOI, इसलिए बी डी का पेयर बनेगा। सो वन पेयर विल बी योर सी ए एंड द अदर विल बी योर बी डी। So this is another way of solving parajumbles or identifying the pairs in parajumble. Okay. The last but not the least is the chronology. Chronology will also help you in finding or solving the parajumble correctly. Now, what do you mean by chronology? Chronology means what has happened in the past, the logical, the historical sequence, we can say. Let's say, for example, statement A says that Ramesh is studying in Pune. Statement B is Ramesh was born in Nagpur. And statement C is saying Ramesh wants to work in Mumbai. Now, observe the three statements over here. Ramesh is studying in Pune, Ramesh was born in Nagpur, and Ramesh wants to work in Mumbai. Observe the statements now for a couple of moments. Okay. Now you can see that statement A is talking about the present condition. It is talking about the present condition. And Ramesh is studying in Pune. That means he's currently studying in Pune. So this is the present condition. We can say that this is in 2023. The statement is talking about 2023. Ramesh was born in Nagpur. Now this is the past condition. ये past में हुआ चीज है. We can say that, let's say Ramesh was born in Nagpur in 1992 or 95, whatever you want to take, you take. But this is in past condition, जो पहले हुआ है. And Ramesh wants to work in Bombay, Mumbai. So this is a future condition वाला tense. Future statement, future में जो होने वाला. So chronology कैसे? Past, याद रखना, past, then your present, and then your future. Okay, so chronology always moves in this direction: past, then present, and then future. Okay, I'm not talking about tense over here. I am not talking about tense over here. Please do not mistake. Tense की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं. I am talking about past, present, and future. Year के हिसाब से जाना है. 2023. Let's take, was born in Nagpur in 1999 and wants to work in Mumbai in 2025. ऐसे पकड़ लेते. So you have to always go by the year. यहाँ पर आप past मतलब past tense मत लगाना, या present tense मत लगाना, या future tense मत लगाना. Okay ना? So this is about past incident. This is about present incident, and this is about future incident. Okay now, so do not mistake or do not commit the mistake of identifying the tense and then deciding about the chronology. Always see about the incident, when it has happened, or is it happening, or is it going to happen. Okay, so past say present और present के बाद future. So 1999 वाला statement पहले आएगा, then 2023 वाला आएगा, and then 2025 वाला आएगा. तो आपका यहाँ पर सीक्वेंस कैसे बनेगा? B A C. Is that clear? I hope you have understood this chronology also. Now let's solve the parajumbles. Now look at these 6 statements and go through this. You have 3 to 4 minutes for this. Just go through this and try to solve this. First thing that what you're going to do is you have to patiently read all the statements, read all the 6 statements. Okay, so we will solve this now. First thing first, I'll read all the statements slowly. Statement A says that they haven't concluded their investigation. Okay, they haven't concluded their investigation, though the initial probe into GEVA was dropped because of a lack of evidence. Okay, in the esoteric world of aluminum. Now, esoteric means difficult, hard to understand. Esoteric का मतलब होता है difficult or hard to understand world of aluminum. It's stockpiled at a secret place, which is 50 kilometers Am I audible to you? Hello? Hello? Yes. So they have, I'll read all the statements again. They haven't concluded their investigation, though the initial probe into GVA was dropped because of a lack of evidence. Now, in the esoteric world of aluminium, in the statement B, in the esoteric world of aluminium, its stockpile at a secret place which is 50 kilometers from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam is controlled by strict policies of Vietnam's customs authorities. The dearth of the metal emerges. Dearth का मतलब होता है scarcity, shortage या deficiency. Shortage, deficiency, scarcity. Dearth means that. The dearth of the metal emerges from the coronavirus pandemic for which China throttles its supply. Its existence has become so significant due as makers of car parts to beer cans are competing for it. The hoard was seized as part of the US-led anti-dumping investigation in 2019, focusing on a Chinese billionaire. The last statement is the Vietnamese authorities say it was accumulated from China by Global Vietnam Aluminium Limited, known as GVA. Okay, now let's start with a proper pattern. First thing first, we'll identify the first statement. A first statement कैसे identify करेंगे? We'll eliminate all the statement that have pronoun or that has an adjective in it. So they haven't concluded. They. What is they? Who are they? Statement A is eliminated. It can't be your first statement. Now, in this first statement, you are also seeing GVA. है ना? GVA देख रहे हो आप? This is a short form. GVA is a short form. किसका short form है ये? Global Vietnam Aluminium का. तो इतना तो पता चल गया हमें कि F और A, F में फुल फॉर्म है और A में शॉर्ट फॉर्म है, तो एक पेयर तो आपने बना लिया. कौन सा वाला? F और A का. नाउ लेट्स सी कि आगे जाके ये कहां पर आएंगे. F कहां, F A कहां, जब बट जहां पर भी आएंगे वे साथ में आएंगे. अब स्टार्ट में आएंगे, लास्ट में आएंगे या बीच में आएंगे, that we'll just decode in a few moments or a few minutes. But itna we understood that they will be coming together. Wherever they'll come together. Because yahan par aapka short form hai and here we have our full form. Now let's see the second statement. In the esoteric world of aluminum, esoteric is difficult. Its stockpile at a secret place, which is 50 kilometers from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, is controlled by strict policies of Vietnam's customs authorities. Now, this can be your first statement. So let's put a question mark. This can be. The dearth of the metal emerges from the coronavirus pandemic, for which China throttles its supply. Metal, the dearth of the metal, मतलब the shortage of the metal emerges from coronavirus. कौन से metal का shortage? We don't know. So this is eliminated. This can't be your first statement. Its existence, again you can see a pronoun its, cannot be your first statement. We have eliminated this. The hoard was seized as part of a US led anti-dumping investigation in 2019 focusing on a Chinese billionaire. The hoard was seized. Now this is not a this is continuation of some sentence. The hoard was seized. मतलब कहाँ पर सीज किया है इसको, कहाँ पर पकड़ा है इसको, किस होर्ड की बात कर रहे हैं? We do not know. So it can't be your first statement. And if the Vietnamese authorities say it was accumulated, it मतलब क्या? No idea. F भी हट गया, तो आपका क्या बनेगा? First statement. First statement will be B. अब देखिए, फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज बी बिकॉज बाकी सब तो हमने एलिमिनेट किए, बचा क्या? सिर्फ बी बचा, तो बी विल बी योर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट. नाउ लेट्स सी व्हाट विल बी योर. अब बी क्या कह रहा है? बी कह रहा है कि in the esoteric world of aluminum, its stockpile at a secret place which is 50 kilometers from the city in Vietnam is controlled by strict policies of Vietnam's custom authorities. Okay. Its existence has become so significant. अब इतना सिग्निफिकेंट क्यों है एल्यूमिनियम? क्योंकि कार पार्ट्स की कंपनी को चाहिए, बियर कैन्स जो बना रहे हैं उनके लिए चाहिए. सो दिस इज अ कंटिन्यूएशन. स्टेटमेंट डी इज कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ स्टेटमेंट बी. तो आपका आएगा बी के बाद डी. अब आएगा सी कि द डर्थ ऑफ मेटल इमर्जेस. ठीक है ना, मतलब शॉर्टेज ऑफ मेटल इमर्जेस कब से? कोरोना वायरस के पैंडेमिक से. ओके, सो बी डी के बाद आएगा आपका सी. Okay, and the hoard was seized. Again, the hoard was seized as part of US-led anti-dumping investigation. Again, तो C के बाद आएगा आपका statement E, B, D, C, E, and then we know that F and A जो हमने पहले ही यहाँ पर लिख के रखा है कि F and A will always come in pairs. तो आपका बन गया ये पैरा जंबल B, D, C, E, F, A. Okay. I'll again tell you B के बाद D, D के बाद C, C के बाद E, E के बाद F और F के बाद A. A is your last statement. Okay, let's move to the next one. These are the questions that you can. These are the questions. Which of the following should be the third statement? Now, what is the sequence? It is B, D, C, E, F, A. Okay. What is the third statement? First of all, when you are solving the parajumbles, always do this. Always find the sequence so that it will be easier for you to mark the answer. So third statement is what? It is C. So your answer will be this one. The next question is, which of the following should be the sixth? अब sixth क्या है? Sixth मतलब last. Last one is A. So your option will be this. Then fourth, B, D, C, E. E, that is option C in this question. Then we have question number 4. Which of the following should be the first? Statement B is your first statement. So option E will be correct answer over here. Next. Which of the following should be the second statement? B के बाद कौन सा आ रहा था? D आ रहा था. So option A will be the answer over here. Okay? Okay. Fine. So first, what you will do, you will first form the sequence. जितने भी statement का उसका sequence पहले form करके लेना. So that what happens when you are going for the questions, it will save you time. Now see, you give time for arranging it. आप एक एक statement देख के मत करना, पूरा पहले बना लेना and then solve all the questions that are related with the parajumble. I hope it is clear with you. Let's move ahead. Now this is a 5-statement parajumble. Now quickly solve this, then we'll discuss it. I'll give you 5 minutes for this, and then I will discuss with you. I'll tell you the answers. Okay, so let's see. Let's read the sentences. About 100 meters from the canal under the Long Bean Bridge in the Kochka district of Hanoi, patches of pink, white, and blue fluttered amid the dense reeds, so tall their green tips brushed against my sweating neck. So, this is about the author who's talking about his experience in Hanoi. Both invited me in with welcoming eyes as we stood at their doorsteps. Both means whom? We do not know. So this cannot be your first statement. तो हमने पहले क्या करना है? पहला statement देखना है. This about 100 meters can be your first statement. So we'll just put a question mark over here. Below these shirts, कौन से shirts? No idea. Can't be your first statement. Eliminate it. As I moved closer, किसके close? Close to what? We do not know. As I moved closer, the hidden colors presented themselves. The T-shirts of a young child hung to dry under the Vietnam sun. Now shirts हमें मिल गया. यहाँ पे these shirts था, यहाँ पर हमें T-shirts मिल गया. ठीक है? So D और C का तो pair बन जाएगा. But first we'll just write it over here कि D and C will be a pair. ठीक है ना? क्योंकि यहाँ पर these shirts बोला है. And then we have got T-shirts over here. So D और C का pair बन गया. यहाँ पर लिख दिया कि D and C का pair बन गया. Now, fifth one, the shirtless man stared at us as he ate his sauteed spinach. The woman squatted next to him, eating occasionally while busying herself with organizing their possessions. Okay. Stared at us. Okay. Now, this cannot be your first statement because first we need to introduce the author and then the shirtless man who's staring at him. So your first statement will be statement A. Okay, because D is gone and E is also gone. Your first statement will be A. At about 100 meters from the canal under the Long Bean Bridge in the district of Hanoi, patches of pink, white and blue fluttered amid the dense reeds so tall that it brushed against my sweating neck. Okay. अब A के बाद आपका आएगा D. Why? Because he was 100 meters away. 100 meters away from the canal. And then he moved closer. As I moved closer, so A और D का pair बन गया. मतलब this is continuation. This is more of a continuation. These things will come with time. आप जैसे आपका understanding, comprehending skills बढ़ेगा, you will also quickly solve these parajumbles. Now, as I moved closer, अब 100 meter दूर था ये, उसके बाद ये close move हो गया. He went closer to it, and we have already seen that D and C will be coming in pairs. So A, D के बाद आएगा C. And below these shirts, A, D, C. Now both invited me. Now you can see that both invited me. Both मतलब कौन? Who both? उसका आंसर दिया है E में कि shirtless man और the woman next to him. ठीक है ना? Shirtless man एक हो गया and the woman who was sitting next to him वो दूसरा हो गया, दूसरा पर्सन हो गया. And both of them invited me. तो यहाँ पर भी आपका पैर बन गया. पैर कैसे बन गया ये पैर बन गया आपका E और B का, क्योंकि पहले शर्टलेस मैन और वुमन को इंट्रोड्यूस किया है एंड देन उनको रिप्लेस किया है विद द वर्ड बोथ. तो आपका हो गया ADCEB. So this will be your correct sequence. ADCEB. I hope you are getting it. Even if you are not able to solve it quickly, do not worry. Do not worry about it, because with practice, if you practice it consistently, if you do it regularly, you will also solve it quickly. Do not go for speed right now. What you should follow, or what your primary goal should be of accuracy. In the initial stages, take as much time as you want. First, we will concentrate on accuracy, and then slowly but surely we will move towards speed. Okay. So first goal, short-term goal is of achieving 100% accuracy. Is that clear? I hope you're getting my message, or you're understanding what I'm trying to say. Okay, now let's move ahead. Now see, now these are the questions that are following over here. Now, what was our order? A, D, C, E, B. So this was our order, A, D, C, E, B. Now, what is it saying? Which of the following should be the third sentence? Third kya tha? C. Option C is your correct answer. Let's move ahead. Now, which of the following should be the first sentence? Apna kya tha? A, D, C, E, B. A is your first statement. Kahan par hai A? Option D. Option D is your correct answer. Which of the following should be the second sentence? Now, A, D, C, E, B. D. Where is option D? It is in D. Option D will be your correct answer. Question 9. Which of the following should be the fifth sentence? A, D, C, E, B. E is your answer. Next question is which of the following should be the fourth sentence? तो अपना क्या था? A, D, C, E, B. E is your answer. There's some mistake, I think. Fifth sentence will be B, not E. I'm so sorry. It was my mistake. It is not E, because this is a 5-statement para jumble. So fifth statement will be B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B. So B is your answer over there. I'm so sorry. Just recorrect yourself. I mean, I have recorrected myself. Just check it again. Okay. Don't do the mistake that I did. So which of the following should be the fourth sentence? The fourth sentence will be your E statement. That is option E in this question. Let's move ahead. This is another para jumble. Now I'll read all the statements. It was founded by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne in April 1976 to develop and sell Wozniak's Apple I personal computer. It can't be your first statement. Eliminated. It tilts to tried and tested iPhone playbook for car as talks with automakers stall. Again, it can't be your first statement. Eliminate. Apple Inc. is an American multinational technology company headquartered in Cupertino, California. This can be your first statement. Question mark. Apple's worldwide annual revenue. Apple Incorporation and then Apple. Okay, so Apple Inc. that is, it has been introduced over here. Apple's worldwide. Now it is talking about, or it is a continuation of D, we can say. So this can't be your first statement. Apple swiftly returned to profitability. Profitability. कहाँ से return हो गया profitability में? We do not know. This can be your first statement. So D can't be your first, E can't be your first. Eliminate both of them. As the market for computers expanded and evolved through the 90s, Apple lost considerable market share. Again, you can see Apple लिखा है सिर्फ. यहाँ पर उसका full form लिखा हुआ है. Apple Inc. Full, इसमें full form नहीं कह सकते, but full description दिया है कि उसका असली नाम क्या है. Colloquially, we say I bought an Apple iPhone, I bought Apple MacBook, or I bought Apple iPad. But the actual name is Apple Inc. That is incorporation. So as the market, again, you can see over here that only Apple has been written. So this can't be your first statement. The first statement क्या होगा आपका? C for Chennai. This will be your first sentence. C. Apple Inc. is an American multinational technology headquartered in Cupertino, California. C के बाद क्या होगा? अब Apple का introduction क्या है वहां पर? कि Apple Inc. is an American multinational technology. Now use your logic for the remaining 5 sentences. कि Apple के बारे में अगर वो बोल रहा है, then obviously the following statement should be कि किसने फाउंड आउट किया और किसने फाइंड किया. तो एप्पल आईएनसी का तो हमने बता दिया कि इट इज अ मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी. उसके बाद आएगा स्टेटमेंट ए. नाउ ओनली योर इंस्टिंक्ट्स विल वर्क ओवर हियर. नाउ देयर इज नो टेक्निक फॉर दिस, बट लॉजिकल रीजनिंग है यहाँ. मतलब लॉजिकली यू कैन डू दिस. Apple's INC is an American multinational technology founded by Steve Jobs, Wozniak and Wayne. तो सी के बाद आ गया ए. ए के बाद क्या आएगा? अब देखना यहां पर क्या लिखा है ई स्टेटमेंट में. ई स्टेटमेंट में लिखा है कि एप्पल स्विफ्टली रिटर्न टू प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. अब बस इस पे कॉन्सेंट्रेट करना. रिटर्न टू प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. कहां से रिटर्न हो गया? As the market for personal computers expanded and evolved through 90s, Apple lost considerable market share to the lower priced duopoly of Microsoft Windows on Intel PC clones. क्या हुआ? It lost market share, और market share lose होने के बाद it returned to profitability. तो यहां पर पेयर कैसे बनेगा आपका? F और E का पेयर बनेगा. ये याद रखना, F और E का पेयर बनेगा. अब देखते कहां पर लगेगा इसको. And Apple's worldwide annual revenue totaled 274.5 billion for the 2020 fiscal year. Now you can use chronology over here. देखो 76 वाला यहाँ पर है, A वाला हमने यहाँ पर डाल दिया, A वाला, ठीक है ना. Then 2020 यहाँ पर 2001 और यहाँ पर 1990s. और यहाँ पर हमने बोला है, देखा है कि F और E का पेयर बनेगा. तो सीधा सीधा लगा दो. पहले 1990s, 2001, 2020, F E D. F E D. तो आपका क्या बनेगा पेयर? सॉरी, आपका क्या बनेगा सीक्वेंस? C A F E D. Are you getting the point? देखो अगर if I have rushed through the last three statements, I'll again explain you. देखो C A का तो हमने जोड़ दिया. एप्पल का इंट्रोडक्शन हो गया. एंड देन किसने एप्पल को बनाया है, उन तीनों के नाम है. तो सी के बाद ए आएगा. इतना तो पता चल गया. एफ ई डी कैसे आ गया? अब इसके दो तीन तरीके हैं सॉल्व करने के. अगर तुरंत सॉल्व करना है ना, by using the technique of chronology. देखना यहाँ पर 1990s लिखा है, यहाँ पर 2001 लिखा है और यहाँ पर 2020 लिखा है. तो क्या बनेगा आपका? अगर क्रोनोलॉजी से जाओगे तो आपका, देखो मैं यहाँ कहीं पे तो लिखता हूँ, क्रोनोलॉजी से जाओगे तो आपका क्या बन रहा है? पहले 90s आएगा एफ स्टेटमेंट, उसके बाद 2001 वाला आएगा, दैट इज ई स्टेटमेंट, और उसके बाद आएगा 2020 वाला, दैट इज डी स्टेटमेंट. एफ ई डी. क्रोनोलॉजी से भी ये आ रहा है एफ ई डी. इफ यू गो बाय द अदर वे, ठीक है ना. अब मान लो कि यहाँ पर आपको इयर्स नहीं दिए होते, तब भी वी कैन कम टू द सेम ऑर्डर, दैट इज एफ ई डी. कैसे? कि एप्पल रिटर्न्ड. कहां से रिटर्न हो गया? रिटर्न टू प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. मतलब प्रॉफिट कमाने लग गया वापस से. मतलब पहले कहीं पे तो लॉस में गया होगा. अब दैट हैज बीन शोन इन स्टेटमेंट एफ, दैट एप्पल लॉस्ट कंसिडरेबल मार्केट शेयर एंड देन इट रिटर्न. तो एफ के बाद ई आएगा, तो सी ए एफ ई बन गया, एंड देन योर डी. करेक्ट. रुको, एक स्टेटमेंट रह गया इसमें, बी स्टेटमेंट रहेगा. लेट्स सी इट अगेन. I missed the B statement. Let's do it again. ओके, लेट्स सी. बी कहां पर आएगा? देखो अब एफ ई डी तो आ गया. अब बी कहां? इट टिल्स टू ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड आईफोन प्लेबुक फॉर कार एज टॉक्स विद ऑटोमेकर्स स्टॉल. ये आएगा ए के बाद. तो आपका करेक्ट सीक्वेंस बनेगा सी ए बी एफ ई डी. ऐसा बन जाएगा ये CABFED। कि एप्पल का इंट्रोडक्शन हुआ है, किसने फाउंड आउट किया है वो पता है, एंड देन इट टिल्स टुवर्ड्स व्हाट, tried and tested iPhone playbook for car as stock with automaker stall। उसके बाद आएगा आपका FED। ठीक है जी, got the point? I hope you have got the point. Let's move ahead. Just a minute. CABFED, I think let's see the statements again. It tilts to tried and tested iPhone playbook for car as talks with automakers stall. Now, this is an incomplete statement, and this statement is not even related to what we are doing over here. Okay, now, so I'll just rub this. Now, CAFED is the proper sequence. Okay, now, and B is related to iPhone, but it is not following any continuation, or it is not fitting in the sequence. Okay, now, the B I think will be, we'll just keep the B in some bracket as of now. We'll just solve the questions and then we'll see how it is. Because I think that this is not related to the question or the. Sometimes what happens, there is another pattern of para-jumbles wherein they'll give you 6 statements and then they'll tell you which of them is not suitable in this 6. So let's see what is there for us. Which sentence is, see, first question is which sentence is not relevant to the paragraph. Now, what did we do? We did CAFED and we kept B in the bracket because we were not understanding, or we were not getting where to, or we were not understanding the right position of B. Okay, na? So B is not relevant. Correct answer ho gaya aapka option B. Then what is the first? C. CAFED ऐसा sequence हुआ है ना, तो C option होगा यहाँ पर. What is the fifth? Fifth मतलब last sentence is your D sentence. Option D in this question. What is the fourth? E. What is the third sentence? Third sentence is your F sentence. That is option D in this case. So that is it for the day. That is it for the lecture. I hope you have understood it. Go through the lesson again, go through the techniques, and remember the techniques are not universal. The techniques are not 100% for that matter. They will only give you towards, मतलब आपका अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी होना चाहिए, आपके इंस्टिंक्ट्स भी काम करने चाहिए, और उसके साथ आपके फिर ये टेक्निक्स काम आएंगे. सिर्फ टेक्निक से नहीं होगा, अंडरस्टैंडिंग प्लस टेक्निक, इंस्टिंक्ट प्लस टेक्निक्स. ठीक है ना? So use the techniques properly. First develop understanding. पहले स्पीड के लिए मत जाना. Never ever go for speed directly. First go for accuracy and then we will work on your speed. Is that clear? I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. Go through the lesson again, watch it again and again, practice again and again. So that slowly but surely you'll get to the summit. You'll get to the required level of it, the speed or whatever it may be. But first thing what you're going to concentrate on is accuracy. So that is it for the day. Thank you so much.